Hi, everybody. Stephanie Craft here. My website is stephaniecraft.com. If you would like to book a session with me, you can go directly to my website. Again, it's stephaniecraft.com. You can click on the Schedule Now button and book your sessions directly that way. My website is always linked in the description box if you forget it. And when you decide you want a session, you don't have to email me. You can go ahead and directly book your session. And thank you for all of the people who have been doing that. I'm blessed to be able to help so many people through this process. So this video is called Twin Flames, Why It Feels Like You're Going to Be Together. And there are so many reasons that the feeling that you're going to come together with your twin flame is so strong. It's so intense. A lot of people have supernatural experiences with their twin flame. This could be before ever meeting. You can be having telepathy. You can be having dreams with that person. You can be having visions, waking visions of the future with that person, seeing the house, seeing the house where you might be living in the future, or scenes of having children together. You might be having astral experiences with your twin that actually feel physical, or they might feel etheric. So this could be in waking states, in dream states. There are so many supernatural things that happen between twin flames. And a lot of the time, because of the intensity of these experiences and how real they feel, because they are real, but they're not what we normally have in the third dimensional experience of our world. There are a different level of reality that is happening to you. Because of this and the intensity of those experiences, it really does feel like you're going to come together, because why else would you be having such intense experiences with someone else? And it's your twin. So of course, you know the feelings that come along with that, of the intense love, connection, unity, and desire, sexual feelings that come with some of those interactions. And so the logic would be, of course, we're going to come together. Also, you feel that in your heart. And so, for many people, this goes on for years and there isn't a real life connection. Or for other people, you have met this person and you have had a relationship with this person, any kind of relationship, connection, texting, phone calls, visiting in person, whatever the connection may be, that is a relationship with that person. And you may have had a loving, a partnership, like coming together and having a real physical relationship with that person. So any variety of these things happen between twin flames. And then, there's usually that separation period. And during the separation times, you're having the supernatural experiences, you're having the higher self communication. Your twin might be sending you songs, lyrics, might be physically. I have a lot of clients who actually feel their twin, come and snuggle up with them in bed, like actually feel the physical manifestation of that person. Even though they're not there in the physical, they can feel it physically. I have other clients who their twin will show up in their room, in their house, in an etheric form, but that looks real. So all of these weird and crazy things happen with twins. And so we think that, of course, we're going to be together. And not just because these things are happening, but because they come with a feeling or a knowing. So, and it's not always true that twins come together. And sometimes they do. A lot of times, if any twin couples that I know that are together have had years of challenges and a very difficult relationship. Some twins I know are very unhappy together, but they're still together. Some twins work through many challenges and come together, but most of them right now on the planet, we're not seeing actually being in a partnership, being together. So this video is really about why it feels like you're going to definitely be together, even if signs in the real world are not pointing to that. So a lot of times people will come to me and they haven't had communication with their twin in, a year or two or whatever, and their twin has told them they don't want to have any connection, or they don't want to have any communication, or they blocked them. But the twin who's waiting for that other one to come back into their life, they're having supernatural experiences. They're having higher self communication. They're having telepathy. Or even if they're not having these experiences, they're having the feeling in their heart of wanting the person to come back, or thinking that they might come back. And it, sometimes it's delusional, but sometimes how do you explain it? It's not always delusional, but even if they're not coming back. So you might still be having these feelings. We don't want to label it delusional or not. It's not necessarily delusional when it's a twin flame situation, and I'm going to explain why. It's because of the connection. So you're one. You are one with your twin. So let's say you come from the same soul, and then you come into two bodies, two or more, and you meet that person, or you become aware, because I have a lot of twin clients who are aware of who their twin is. Some of them are extremely famous people in the world that everybody would know, and then the twin awakens to, oh my God, that's their twin. And it really, really is their twin. And they're having all these experiences, or even if they're not famous, they're still having this experience where they figure out who it is and they haven't actually met yet. So I'm trying to remember my point about this. So they feel like they're going to come together again. You might have met them and you still have that same feeling. Well, it's because you're one. So you come in, you're one soul, you come into this body, these bodies, and you meet, or you become aware of each other. And that's like a magnet now. So you become aware of who your twin is, and the connection is so intense, so strong, because you are one. Okay. So because of that oneness, there is that magnetic pull. Now, your twin comes into your life for specific reasons, primarily as a catalyst for you, for whatever reason you need. Reasons, usually many. And sometimes your twin, let me go back to the catalyst. So learning, growth, expansion, evolution, major life experiences of clearing and healing all of your inner child wounds, clearing all of your ancestral baggage and stuff that your family has and you carry to clear. Twin flames are here on the planet right now to clear for humanity. Why it feels like you're going to be with your twin, even if you might not end up together, you still have this knowing that you will, even though it might not be true. Why it's so intense and why it stays like that for so long is so that, because the higher self is guiding this connection, it is drawing you like a magnet and keeping you in that connection, feeling like you're going to be together, so that you stay in that energetic connection. Because if you're still in it like that, you're still working on the learning, the growth, the evolution, the clearing that you're doing on an individual level and for humanity as a whole. So why are we doing it, and why is it so hard? Let me talk about why it's so hard. Well, and why we're doing it. So because it's so hard, because when you feel that oneness with that other person, it's extremely painful to not be together, because you were in the soul level together, and now you're not. And that's pretty excruciating. We have had a separation from, let's call it God or the all that is, primary, first level separation as a soul, then secondary level, or we don't really, there might be more levels than this because if you have multiple twins, but that's a whole different discussion. And then you have your separation from your soul, that other part of you. So you have the separation from God, that's can be painful as a soul memory, and then you come into bodies separately from the soul, and that can be painful because when you meet and you're separated, it just hurts. And so the reason we meet to ignite that pain, it's not on purpose to be painful, but it is bringing up your all that stuff. So any kind of dysfunction you have, wounds, pain, things you need to work through, things you need to release, clear, heal, all of that will come up. The reason it's so painful is because of the quantity that you're carrying and clearing, not only for yourself, but for your family, your lineage, and also for humanity. It's not a normal or common experience because regular people who just have one incarnation from their soul on the planet at this time, they're not doing that massive level energetic clearing. So imagine that twins hold a larger quotient of light. They have a larger field of influence. They have a larger energy field. And because there are more than one of them here, then it's even bigger. And the reason for that is to do more clearing. Why do we need to take on more? Because humanity is pretty lost. And they're especially in relations between men and women, or the masculine and feminine on the planet. Both are damaged. The masculine on the planet is damaged, and the feminine on the planet is damaged. And we are healing that. So how can we bring humanity to a higher level of functionality and healthy relationships between people? Massive healing needs to take place. If you're a twin, you have agreed to take this on. When you go through this journey, you know that it's the most intense thing you've ever experienced in your life, even if you've had dozens of other massive, intense traumas. You know that this one is the strongest, the most intense. And it's for the reasons that I'm telling you. It's taking on a large portion of, we could call it pain, to clear. And it's not just pain, it's things like, addictions, personality disorders. A lot of people that put out twin flame information or say that they know what twin flames are or aren't, say that twin flames can't have personality disorders. Twin flames cannot be narcissists. Well, that is 100% false. There are tons of narcissistic twins. If you only knew how many clients I have who have a narcissistic twin. I can't even count. So the reason I'm bringing this up here is that, yes, we are clearing massive stuff for humanity that does need to clear out. Look at our world. We wouldn't still be having war if we were more healed, because why would anybody sign up to go kill people, right? If the consciousness of the planet were raised and we were more healed from within, with our knowing of our inner peace, our love, our joy, our wholeness, our completeness, and lacking all of the dysfunctions, we would have a completely different world. It all happens from within, but we need help because a lot of humans are not at that level where they can even get to the self-healing mode. I don't know if you guys know about the levels of consciousness. Do you know the book Power versus Force by David Hawkins. So there's this book by David Hawkins called Power versus Force. And in there, there's a consciousness calibration scale. You can even go on the internet and do a search for this consciousness calibration, conscious levels of consciousness by David Hawkins. And you can see that humanity is at a level of 200 or less. I don't know if it's 250 or 200 or less. That's the majority of humans on the planet. But twin flames have a higher level of consciousness. And when you have a higher level of consciousness, you're actually able to influence masses of people, because I told you about the energy body. Your field of influence is greater when you carry a larger light quotient. Okay, that's a higher level of consciousness. And so like, if your consciousness calibrates at a 350, for example, you will be influencing millions of people on the planet, positive or negative. So, I'm not saying that we're saints or all good all the time. You have to watch all of your thoughts, your feelings, because everything that you are feeling, thinking, imagining is being projected out into the collective or directly to the person that you're thinking about. You do have that much power. We do create our reality, and we do create it vibrationally. And so understand that your experience is influencing the masses. Now, back to the twin flame collective and mission, it is massive healing and clearing for humanity. So why you cry so hard, why you want to die in this because of this experience, why you feel like it's ruined your life, is because you're working through the things that still haven't healed. And we can pull ourselves up and out of some of that despair to really look honestly at, okay, what are my issues and what am I feeling? Well, primarily you're healing the wound of separation. So we leave oneness to come down onto earth to be in a human body, and we have a perceived sense of separation. It's actually false. We are actually all one. We literally are all one, but we have a perception and illusion here on the planet of separation. And so the twin flame experience is to bring back the memory, or it's not a memory, yes, but the knowing of oneness. So if you can, if you can start there at the baseline of what are you learning as a twin, and what are you learning for the collective, to reflect back to the collective, to mirror, to teach, to project, it is oneness. So by first having your twin experience, understanding, oh my goodness, I'm not separate as one, I am actually part of another, and we are one. So the two make the one. And sometimes people have more than one twin. So there you go. It's like, oh wow, the oneness keeps growing if you become aware of that. And so the baseline level learning, first level, is oneness. I'm not separate from another. I'm actually one with another. And then hopefully you can take that and understand that that continues on, that we're all really one. So there's that level of learning, but we need that here. We need to dissolve the notion of separation on the planet, that what I do to you, I'm actually doing to myself. And it is true. It is 100% true. And whether that is reflected back in a lifetime of karma, or cause and effect is what karma is. So if I do something to you, I'm actually doing it to myself, but will the ramifications of that come back to me? Yes, in this life or another. So in another life, like if I kill someone in this, which I have of course not done that, but people do. People are in the military and they actually are killing people. And so let's say they do that and then they have another lifetime. Well, that probably will happen to them. I'm not laughing about it. I'm just saying that, well, everything's a cosmic joke. So like up on the higher levels, things do seem funny down here, but not to us when we're in the deep suffering of it. So the point is that humans do need to learn about oneness, that we are all one, that we are all connected. And twin flames have the deepest experiences of that. Unless you are a person who's not a twin flame, you know, whether you are or not, but you've had like a near-death experience. That's another way to get through to you the oneness, because in a near-death experience, you actually do cross over to the other side and you get to experience that oneness with the all that is, and then come back here to share that, to teach that. That's why people who teach about their NDEs have such a massive impact on the planet, and same with twins. So we are here to learn that we are not separate and that we are one. And what else? I had like a massive stream of consciousness flowing in to me this morning, so I typed it all up so that I could make this video. So I'm just going to look at my notes to make sure I say everything. Okay, so why you're drawn to your twin in such a way where you really believe and feel and know that you're going to be together, even if like you don't realize you're not, but after like years you discover it, you might not be there yet. The reason is that you have to feel that in order to be in that magnetic, you know, pull connection, in order to do what you set out to do in terms of healing everything within yourself, and your twin needs to do the same thing. Everything I said, like healing, clearing, because really the ultimate thing is to become whole within, full of self-love, wholeness, completeness, divine feminine, masculine, balance, all your wounds healed, cleared. When that happens, you're not going to feel that pull toward your twin anymore, because you're having that pull in order to keep healing all of those things. If you're still feeling that you're going to be with your twin, it's because you haven't healed those things yet. It's not because you're going to tell yourself, it's because I'm going to have a relationship with that person and we're supposed to be together, we're meant to be together, we're the perfect fit. And you'll tell yourself that even if you're not. Like, be really honest with yourself about if you're actually a perfect match with that person, because a lot of times you aren't. You have a feeling that's very strong. That's because of the oneness, the resonance. But if you break it down into practicality of life, are you really a good fit and a good match circumstantially and all of that? So, you know, look into that, be honest with yourself. But you're going to tell yourself, I have all these feelings that are so intense and longing and desire, because I know we're going to be together and we're supposed to be together. But you have that not necessarily because you're supposed to be together or because you are going to be together. It's for these other reasons I'm talking about. I know it seems like a cruel joke, and kind of it is. Like most of us are not happy that we're in that situation and that we have signed up for such a hard job and such a, you know, experience of turmoil. Because why a lot of my clients, and even I used to ask this when I was in that state of pain, why would this even happen? Like, why would God let this happen, or my own soul let it happen, where I would meet that person and then we're not going to be together? That doesn't make any sense. That's what this is what our minds tell us. On some levels, right, if you're thinking about it as the ideal romantic partnership and you meet that person and then you're not together, it is devastating. People do commit suicide. I understand that, because you want to die without that other person, that other part of you. It's your heart, that they share your heart, like literally. I mean, well, energetically, spiritually. And so we it's almost like from the higher levels, they make us, our higher self, our soul makes us feel like absolutely we're going to be with them, we're supposed to be with them, we signed a soul contract to be together in this life. But what has been happening, I've been working with twins for 10 years, and in the 10 years that I've been working with twins, and being a twin, being exposed to so many twins, what I see is that they're not supposed to be together. It just feels like that. And the reason is so that we can stay in it, and in the pain of it, in order to do the clearing for humanity. And I know it's a job that you signed up for as a volunteer to come here and do, and it's not fun. And so, but the thing is that, like, when I was more connected to I have two twins, and both times, if a person told me that we weren't going to be together, like, I would have wanted to die, and I wouldn't believe them because I knew we were, and nobody could tell me otherwise. And if somebody did tell me that, I would be really mad at them and not want to talk to them anymore about it, because it hurt my heart so badly that it put me into a state of devastation and crying for like days. I'd have to recover, and it would ruin me. And the thought of not being with that person, for some people, is too much to consider, too much to entertain, even the possibility of not being together, because that equals annihilation. Okay? So some people are not ready to hear that. I wasn't many times. And then I would discard what they told me, because I knew at the time. I wasn't right at the time, but I knew it, and you know it until the healing and the clearing is complete. So look at you like you're in a bubble, and when you're in the bubble with that twin, even if you're not talking and there's no communication and you don't see each other, you're still in it, and you know you're going to be together. You're not going to be together. I mean, you're going to keep thinking that until everything is healed and cleared and resolved within you. And then that bubble dissolves. You're still twins, but you don't really care. Like, you're not in the bubble with your twin anymore. You're freed up. You're released. You can talk about it like I can talk about it without crying and say, I thought we were going to be together. I thought I had the feelings, but now I understand. So when you understand the journey and what it's about, you have a greater perspective. But when you're in it, it's horrific. And that means you're still working on clearing, healing. So it's not, so if you're still suffering and you're still saying, I'm going to be with my twin, I have to be with my twin, I'm going to die if I don't have a life if I don't, my life is dependent on it. I have clients right now, many of them, who are in this state of, I can't live without my twin. I don't have a life without my twin. I don't know what I'm going to do if I'm not with my twin. I want to die if I'm not with my twin. I can't move on. I can't date anybody else. I can never love anybody else. I can't be with anybody else ever. I'm never going to find anybody else with that connection. So this is what you are dealing with, because I have clients, who watch my videos, and people who find my videos. My videos are placed by spirit or guides or souls, higher selves on YouTube. That has nothing to do with algorithms, because I have people telling me like I will all like hard rock videos, and then boom, mine. Like, it has nothing to do with that, but it was the exact video that they needed, that spoke to them exactly what they were thinking and feeling. And this has been happening over and over and over. People will call me, email me, tell me when we have sessions exactly how my video showed up, and it's impossible that my video would have shown up, but it was exactly what they were thinking about. So this world is a hologram. And so let's see. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah. So you might feel like this is the most unfair, horrific thing, and you never would have agreed to it. And you're stuck in that place. Understand that there is only love. God and goodness is here and wants to flourish. And if you're in this situation and it's not working out, like, there's no contact, or someone like me or someone else tells you you're not going to be together, or your twin tells you you're not going to, I don't tell people directly. I suggest it because if the situation is pretty obvious that there's no connection and no not connection, but no communication in the real world, and the other person has said, I don't ever want to see you or talk to you, or they block you, all of that, then it's better to try to look at that at face value, come and settle into the reality of it. Now, some people are not ready to entertain the thought of that because that's annihilation, like I said before, and that's okay. They're not ready yet because they're still healing the wound of separation, abandonment. We're not only healing that wound of separation from God and our soul, we're healing it from our birth parents. Okay. So a lot of times we're born to parents that don't want us. I was born to a mother that didn't want me. So of course I'm going to have a twin who, is going to reject me. He didn't ultimately, it's a long story with my twin. He didn't reject me, but in many ways there's rejection happening between twins back and forth. You know how it is. It's complicated. So if you're in that state and you can't hear anybody tell you you're not going to be together because you don't feel like you can survive that kind of information or entertain the thought of it, that's okay, because you're still in the process of healing that illusion of separation and the wounding, the very real wounding of separation. So until you can get that healed more, you're going to stay in that place, but then eventually you'll be able to start entertaining the thought of, wait a minute, we might not actually be together. And when you can start entertaining those thoughts of, I might be okay, I might not die if we're not together, they might not actually be coming back, and then you're able to survive that, you can let yourself begin to feel like you're going to be okay. It's a process. You're healing a lot for humanity. Don't forget, you're taking on a larger amount of suffering, really, for clearing. It doesn't have to be suffering when you recognize what you're doing. You can shift it, okay? That's a process, though, too. So in the beginning, there's love and oneness. And in the end, there's love and oneness. What do I mean by that? Well, that's obvious, but in the middle of this is life on earth, which is life is suffering, right? Isn't that what the Buddha says, or somebody? And yeah, life is suffering. When you're in the midst of a twin flame journey, the suffering is immense. But when you get to towards the end of it, you can feel and know the oneness of you and your twin. And I'll give you an example. I had a dream. I knew my twin and I were one. And you have experiences of that oneness. Like even before I met him, I was sleeping and I had a spiritual experience during sleep of our soul bodies, astral bodies, energy bodies, whatever you might want to call them, like floating together and then merging together as one. And that was before I even knew who he was. And it was pure oneness, and it was love, and you can't even put that feeling into words when you have an experience like that. So that was in the beginning of right before I met him. And then this past spring, 2018, I had a dream. It was amazing, amazing. I was on the beach. It was like a spiritual experience just by myself, sunset, golden light. It was, very beautiful. And I had a book, and the book, I opened the book, and on the left side, there was a dedication written, and it said, I love you, period. And I love you back, period. And when I opened the book and I saw the words, I could hear my voice audibly inside my head saying, I love you. But the beginning part of the I love you sentence was actually my twin, who's male, and his energy, his essence, his whole being came through. Like I could see him, and it was like coming through the words and the essence and the sound, even though it was my voice. But within that, it was the knowing and the feeling of oneness, that he's not even a separate person. That was the notion, the feeling, the knowing, and the dream was, he's me. Wait a minute, that's me. He's a male version of actually me. We're one. There is no separation. He's not even a separate or different person. We're one, even though in this life he is, but it's not real. And so that came through my dream. I love you. And then my voice, and then ended it with me. So it was like you can imagine like a stream of energy of like beginning his essence merging as mine, but within it, it's all one. It's one. And then and I love you back was us as one loving. I love me loving myself 100%. So I'm trying to explain the essence of the dream, but you can't really get it across in words very well because it was so profound. And with it was within me 100% wholeness, completeness, self-love, love, oneness with my twin as being one, not separate, being the same person, like soul. It's not the same person because he's a different person, but it's me. That's me, because that's my soul in another body. He's me and I'm him. It's one. We're one. So you're one with your twin. So when you're crying and sad about not being that person, it's because you're one. It's because you came here in two bodies to do different things, to learn different things, to teach each other and have a connection, and to facilitate as a being catalyst for each other, this healing for humanity. So if you can take it on like, I'm healing all the wounds for the feminine, I'm healing all the wounds for the masculine, and that's both within one body, even if I'm probably not healing all the wounds for the masculine, but some, like we're doing it all together as a collective of twins. And so if you can, like, if you're on this journey and you've let your emotions and your mind turn to darkness, anger, resentment, fear, hate, please try to remember in the beginning, it was love and oneness. And in the end of this journey, it's supposed to be love and oneness. Like what I explained to you in my dream, the realization, the knowing, the embodiment of the oneness, the love. And that is the connection that you have with your twin. So if you're feeding that connection with hate, resentment, unforgiveness, anger, fear, depression, loneliness, sadness, grief, desperation, longing, it's really helpful to release that. How you can release that is by coming back to the knowing of the oneness and the love. Even if they've hurt you, even if they've been horrible to you, even if they're not talking to you, even if they're doing things that you think are against you or hurt you, it's because that's you in another body doing that to you so that you can heal all of that. It's like I said, it seems like an evil, cruel joke. And in a way it is, to get us to do the healing, to bring up that pain, to ignite within us the stuff that needs to be healed. So yeah, it hurts, and they do hurt us. Sometimes I've seen people say like, your twin would never hurt you. Those people are living on a fairy tale planet, because on the planet Earth, twins hurt each other. Why? To do this healing, to do it for each other. Let me do this to you. Let me do this to you. And we do that at the soul level. We say that to each other at the soul level so that we can heal everything that we could possibly experience as a human. Anything that's caused trauma, dysfunction, pain, we are healing. And so the point of twin flames is not always to be together, to come together. It's not. You're not really, it's not really easy to be with your twin. It's not really easy to be with your twin long term. It's very intense. I'm just checking. I don't know. This video is going on for a really long time. I have no idea how long I've been talking. But let's see what else I wrote here. Yeah. Yeah. So ultimately, you want to get to the most healed you can within this journey so that you can learn to receive and give love. Because after you move through this journey, when you're in it, you feel like you're never going to move on and you're never going to be over your twin, or you're never going to stop thinking about them, or you're definitely going to be together and not with anybody else. But, you know, when you kind of learn the things that I've spoken about in this video today and come into some acceptance of some of these things, and like that can help separate you from the have to be to the, oh, well, maybe I can let it go a little bit, and maybe I can be okay on my own, and maybe we won't be together, and maybe we're going to have separate lives, and maybe I'll be with someone else. The whole thing is, once you get to the healed part of this journey, you get to be with somebody else who is your perfect match, who is totally resonant with you, a soulmate, someone you've had many lifetimes together of loving relationships, and there is harmony and peace and joy and love and fun, and you can give and receive love at an amazing level. Because you've been through the twin journey, you're now prepared for the most amazing relationship of your life. And so there is hope. People think when they're in the midst of it, like, I'll never be with anybody, but that's not true. It's preparing you for the best. This is tumultuous. The twin thing is tumultuous. It's insane. It's crazy. It's back and forth. It's push and pull. It's trauma and ecstasy, you know, devastation and ecstasy. It's everything, but you don't want that in your life partner. You don't want that intensity and that insanity. You want peace and joy and love and harmony, and you're preparing for that. But first, you're on a mission to help humanity get there, you know what, together, because we need help. We, well, everybody, we're here as one. And so we're helping each other out, and we're doing a massive cleanup job for humanity. That's the main thing. And so as much pain as you feel, you're feeling it exponentially because you're clearing for millions. Trust me, you really are. You're carrying a load that's heavier than what most people do on an emotional level in these ways that you're going through. Whatever you're working on, whatever you're healing, whatever you're doing, you're clearing for millions. So release the full individuality of it, like it's all you. You know, yes, it's you and more. And then when you can somehow come to the more final stages of this connection, which is not necessarily physical union together with your twin. Everybody says, when are we going to have union? Well, you have union because you're one soul. It's automatic. You automatically love them, and you're automatically one. You're automatically in union. But Earth lifetimes are not necessarily for being physically together. I have gone into past lives with my twin, and in those, we were married, we were together, but there was loss. My twin died before I did in 2 of the lives that I visited under hypnosis, and I was devastated. Well, in one of them, I was devastated during the lifetime because he was completely vacant. He was not in his body. He was like a lost soul, or, you know, just not healed, alcoholic, doing other, you know, all kinds of stuff that was not connected to me as his wife. And so I was already in that, you know, sad state of not having my twin, even though we were married. And I was happy to have known him in that life and be with him, but it was devastating. So like, it's the story of the twin. It's these sad stories, sometimes happy, you know, there are twins out there who are happy, not that many, but there are. So I don't want people coming after me and saying, oh no, you know, some of them we do come together and we are happy. Yeah, you exist. There are those, but it's rare. But then like in another lifetime, oh, I was really happy with my twin, but he died early on, and I was devastated for the rest of that lifetime. So the thing is, this is called the story planet. We come here and we live out these stories of love and loss, and twins make up the most intense of those stories, and some really strong soulmates do too. But that's what we come here. We come to learn lessons through love and about love. And so that's what we're doing, and we're doing it in a big way when we're twins. But twins are not necessarily meant to be together. Some of them, like a lot of them, are not. And so if you can take the lessons, take the learning, take the growth, prepare yourself for your ultimate relationship, which you can have in this lifetime. You really can. And you can be ready for that if you move through this well. And when it's time to release it, release it and see it for what it is. And don't release your twin as like cut them off, but embody them as one with you in that love and oneness. You don't have to let them go spiritually, emotionally, energetically. Well, energetically a little bit, because you don't want to always be like feeling everything that they're feeling and that kind of thing that happens. But yeah, it's not about cutting anybody out or away. Unless they're really dysfunctional and toxic to you, then there's more distance needed. But I think you understand what I mean. It's more about embracing that oneness and that love and taking that away from your experience and releasing any bitterness or negative, lower vibrational type stuff that has gone on in your journey. So the video is called Why You Feel Like You're Going to Be Together. And it's really because you have that feeling, even if it's not going to end up to be true, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say, but because you're meant to feel that magnetic pull and be in that sort of energy field, you're actually energetically merged with your twin. You're merged. And why you're merged is to do all this stuff I talked about. Another thing is your twin will come into your life at times when you need the most support. So this is very common. You might be going through what is the most tumultuous time of your life, and this can last for years, really major life traumas. And your twin comes into your life at that time to carry you through. But that doesn't mean they're meant to be with you forever and that you're supposed to get married or be together. It means that that's your partner, your spiritual spouse, your partner coming in to give you a foundation in life so that you don't commit suicide, so that you don't go into the deepest depression and get to become a drug addict or alcoholic or whatever and like check out of life. They come in at that time to carry you through turmoil, whether it's divorce or deaths of people or major life traumas. They're there to carry you through the hell that your life is for a while. And then they might leave. And then you feel like worse, but it's really, there are higher level reasons for their companionship with you in that time. It's for a purpose. It is to carry you. It is beneficial. Look at it as the gift that it is. And really appreciate all. Be grateful for everything. And you will see the blessings in this crazy life experience with your twin. Okay, blessings, everybody. Bye.